I'm back. Oh my god. I am not even going to explain all of the reasons why it hasn't been a thing that I've been doing lately, but it's a thing that I'm doing. What is up? I want to do something a little bit different. So, for the people of YouTube land, I want to give a little bit of rundown of the patch notes of the patch that came out today. I think this is a pretty significant patch, and I think that it is going to change or at least address something that has been reviewed, been the cause of a lot of negative reviews on Steam, and hopefully take care of that as well as just a ton of other content. So I want to do a little bit of like a patch review Wednesday sort of thing. So right now, Butterscotch Shenanigans is on about a every 2 week time schedule for significant content updates, and hot fixes really just as needed. Pretty much if there's a significant issue, it's taken care of pretty quickly. So we're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna bring up, bam, the patch notes view. So we're gonna go through this. I'm not gonna go through like line by line everything in the patch notes, but I did want to address some of the bigger things and just kind of talk to why I think this is a significant patch, and then we're gonna jump right on in. Maybe play a couple levels, maybe build a couple levels. We'll see how things go. So this is LevelHead patch .10 or .10. Burn it down, and I'm I'm torn on this, but let's just get into it. So the first massive thing, the campaign burned down. So they've gone through and completely redesigned the purpose of the campaign. Originally, the campaign was there to serve as a way to teach you the components of the game, as well as to unlock different pieces of content for the level editing engine. And as you understand how to use a piece of content and complete challenges and levels throughout the campaign, you unlock those elements through these kind of loot capsules. Not really a loot box; it's not random loot. It was specific loot in order as you got through the campaign. But some of the levels did require you to achieve certain objectives to unlock some of the content. So players felt like the levels were already hard enough, and that gating content behind an additional achievement wall sort of thing felt kind of unfair. I personally enjoyed the challenge, and while sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating to hit those really higher, you know, echelons of a level to really master the style of a level or some really difficult jump, I felt that once you did master it, I mean, you only had to master it one time, and once you did it, it felt pretty rewarding. So I was okay with it, but we are burning it down. So it's gone. All of the unlocks are now out of the campaign, and everything is unlocked in the level editor. You have to beat the first 2 levels of the campaign. Once you beat the 2 levels of the campaign that unlock the workshop, boom, you have everything. You can then choose to play through the campaign at your leisure, and do that to learn, how all the objects interact and the types of levels that you can build. Of course, all of the levels that are designed in LevelHead are made using the same editor that we have access to, just with a couple of dev pieces for giving instructions and things like that. But otherwise, the camera zooms, pans, everything that's built inside the level is built using the same editor that you have access to, which I think is just awesome. So they've unlocked all items at the start, which means that if you are the kind of player that doesn't want to beat that, because I've seen mostly like 3 types of players. There's the type of player that we've had that gives negative reviews, that wants everything in the campaign or everything in the editor unlocked as soon as they open the game, which pretty much is the case now. Once you understand the very basic concept of the game, moving, running, throwing the package, and the goal, then you get the campaign or the editor, all the editor tools unlocked. The second type of player is a player that refuses to build a single level until they have beaten 100% of the campaign, 100% collection rate, 100% everything. They want to beat every single level, then they'll go into the campaign editor. And the third type of player, it's a little bit more rare. I was one of those players. I'm going to beat 2 or 3 levels in the campaign, and if I get frustrated or I just hit a point where I feel like I have a really good idea for something, I'm going to jump into the editor using just what I have, build a level, publish it, see how it goes, and then go play some more of the campaign and earn some more content that way, or maybe jump back and forth between the marketing department. So that style of play, the style of having wanting all of the editor content unlocked is now available. So you now have access to that, and right out of the gate, as soon as you know how to play the game, you can do that. So for all of those people that was a sticking point where they didn't really want to play the campaign, or they heard the campaign was too difficult or challenging, didn't want to have to beat certain achievement style challenges to unlock content, now's your chance. Hop in, and everything, you've got everything. So that's the huge note. Some of the other things that have come up, we now have notifications. This is somewhat of a rebuilding of the subscription feed with some additional content in it as well. And shout out to Specchio for the test screenshot of this. Um, it shows you anytime that you're getting tipped exposure bucks, whenever your level graduates the marketing department, whenever if it gets added to a daily or weekly contest sort of thing, all of those things. If you're getting crowns or shoes stolen, boom, notifications list. I like it. It's just another one of those quality of life enhancements that Butterscotch Shenanigans has been pretty good about, just including in some of their updates on top of other types of updates. Steam login, this has been something that some people had some frustration with, other people who had issues getting their default HTML browser to work, or people who use non kind of traditional emails outside of the standard scopes of like Google, Yahoo type stuff, other country emails that might be getting blocked. Now you can do sign in through Steam, which is pretty big. It's a good deal. They've hooked up the Steam API. They got all the bugs worked out with that. And now you can generate a Rumpus account with a Steam account. So you don't have to give out your email address or anything else if you don't want to. Just standard Steam login. Boom, you're good. They also added a screen capture. This would have been really helpful when I was doing the Reddit post for Traveler Town Trial, because I also did exactly what Talk Gibberish did, which is shout out to him there. Hey, Ethereal Sheep, what's up? Thanks for joining. So, yeah, stitching together level screenshots is really difficult. Not super difficult, but it's a little tedious when you've got 5 to 6 screens of levels to stitch together and trying to make sure that your hand is out of the way and stuff. So now there's an automated system that goes and grabs it for you, and additionally throws in the LevelHead logo, your name, and the LevelHead uh, website at the bottom, which I think is really cool. It gives you a little bit of a frame at the bottom. I think that's a nice touch. It saves in your save folder, or it saves it to Steam Cloud. I think that's a good deal too. Switch logic, I am always happy to see more switch logic, even though I don't tend to make super complicated machines. But when I do need a specific gate, in this case, they've added XOR logic now, or XOR, which is nice. And when I need that and it's not there, then it kills me. So this is one of those things that I'm probably not going to use a whole lot of, but I know that when I need it, it's there, and it's probably something that I will use eventually. Swinging spikes, I think this is just a nice touch. I'm going to be interested to see what some sideways swinging spikes look like, and maybe some different speeds, or mixing it with normal spike chainers and fire bars and stuff like that, or Bernie whirlers. Because I think this is a fun little thing. It definitely matches the Spookstone a lot better. I'm happy to see it, and I'm interested to see what people are going to start doing with it, because Lord knows swinging things. That jump that's made in that GIF would probably take me a couple dozen times to get, and I would immediately die afterwards and have to do it again. So, last but not least, Belugs have been completely redone. Belugs are basically out, hard light in. Very, controversial as to if you were Team Belug or if you were Team Hardlight. Personally, I'm kind of in the middle. I like the Hardlights, but I'm not sure that if they're really butterscotchy enough. Like they don't have that same kind of humorous twinge that the Belugs had. But I kind of have to agree that the Belugs look like they were an earlier design and added to the game a lot earlier. Some people said colored belugs maybe would have been a better deal. I think that matching the color of the arrows and the portals is a good thing for the hard lights. So you now have the 4 colors to choose from. I think doing that to match them to the belugs, and trying to get like a pastel to match a neon is kind of difficult. So I understand where that the idea may have come from, to not address that in the same type of way. Also, this is a big thing for me that's going to get me into a lot of trouble. I know it. There's a new 100 by 100 level layout called the Mega Box. that's massive. They are correct. It's never bigger enough. Seth knows. Until it's infinite, and allow us to crash their server with infinite levels, it'll never be big enough. Improved path editor visuals not shown in here. I'm kind of interested to see what some of those look like. Um, and for the most part though, that's it. So hard lights, awesome. Maybe an unlock for the Belugs. Yeah, maybe that could be. Hey, Sleepy Doof, how's it going? So yeah, this is a really big update. It doesn't bring a lot, as far as new gear for players and new tech to play with, but it does actually bring a lot of things in the background as far as gear and tech. Of course, we have, for people that are more drag and drop players, swing as a default option for the spike chainers. That's kind of your gift. For our coders and our people who want lots of logic, switch logic, that's your gift. But otherwise, it's largely a quality of life update. And I mean, for the longest time, they had a really hard stance on the campaign and making it a requirement. So seeing them being willing to have conversations with the community on what should the campaign be for, how should it be played, how should unlocks be handled, and the fact that the campaign has gotten a lot larger. There are like twice as the number, if not more, the number of levels in the campaign than there were during alpha. And that's even with reducing the first 7 to 12 levels of the campaign down to like 3. Seth did like a merger of those levels because there used to be a lot more in the intro, and there's still twice as many levels now as there was in alpha. So the campaign's gotten really big, and I love the campaign. I love the campaign levels. I was one of those players that was like, there were some times where it got really hard, and I wished that I had at least some other method of unlocking. I'm okay with it just being 100% unlocked. I would have been just as okay with it being gated behind. You can either earn them through the campaign or buy them with like exposure bucks or something. So if you just wanted to make levels, you had to start with the smallest level elements and make levels using that, but you would earn, you know, unlocks through by playing other players' levels in the marketing department or getting tipped or something like that. So tips is something that's come. Oh hey, thank you, Script Flipper. What is up, dude? Good to see you. So I'm really glad that there's a lot of things that have happened since I last really played. I did go through the campaign up to the last week's or the other week's update. But all of the other content that's been added for about the last 6 weeks or so I've not really played with it. I've not played a whole lot of level in the last 6 weeks or so. I've had a lot of things going on, but I'm happy to jump back into it. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and get the LevelHead audio back up. Let's get the music going and make sure and let me know if, music drowns me out or anything. I'm going to keep it a little bit low for now. And we are going to go ahead and switch right on into the game. And I think I need a warm up. I'm gonna need a warm up, so I